But we begin this afternoon with a look back at the life and the legacy of a man known and loved by Western New Yorkers for generations. We learned late last night that longtime Sabres play-by-play man Rick Jeanneret passed away. The legendary broadcaster called Sabres games for 51 years before calling it a career before this past season. His name already hanging in the rafters of KeyBank Center. Sports director Adam Bonini is live outside the arena this afternoon. And Adam, it's the kind of day when words sort of fail. How do you even begin to describe what Jeanneret means to Buffalo?
Yeah, so many words come to mind, Kate, and none really do Rick Jeanneret justice. It's further evidence of the impact he made over the years and over the decades. A memorial set up down here at KeyBank Center and Alumni Plaza as the workday comes to an end. More fans coming by to pay tribute. But to me, authenticity is the word that comes to mind. Authentic as a person, certainly, as we'll hear more about. Authentic, absolutely, as a broadcaster. You know, it's rare when you look at the history of a franchise and the epic plays that are remembered as much for the calls as the players involved. That was the case with Rick Jeanneret, and I did have the chance to sit down with him just before his final call last spring.
He's going in on goal, he shoots, he scores!
Is that something that you work toward, or is that something that just happened naturally and kind of organically?
Oh, that's just organic. That's anything that came out of these lips has been pretty natural. I very seldom think ahead of time as to what, when you get in terms of the number of calls that I've had that they call famous or infamous, whatever. But no, that's me.
Them at some point.
And that really is the essence of authenticity, and the reason he was so beloved and respected, a big part of it anyway, beyond his amazing talent. The tribute to him in this arena after his final call certainly speaks to that, along with so much else. Want to bring in our hockey insider, Sabres insider, Paul Hamilton, also of WGR Sports Radio 550. I've known Rick Jeanneret for 3 decades, you longer than me. What made him unique as a person and a broadcaster to you, Paul?
You talked about authenticity. None of this, as you hear in the background, was rehearsed. None of it. I've seen broadcasters rehearse that stuff. It came, he let the game come to him, and it just came out. Brad May scores the goals. It just comes out. Mama hides the cookies. Well, somebody scored top shelf. It just came out. He doesn't rehearse this stuff, and he has such iconic calls, and it takes a very special person to be able to do that, and he was that special person.
Quickly here, just a few seconds left, but I remember sitting with him in the dining room here at the cafeteria before a game one night. I asked him about his prep charts, his game charts, all his info, and he looked at me as if to say, how could you possibly ask me that question? He just held up the lineup card and then tapped his temple and said the rest is upstairs.
That's what it is. When I first got in the booth with him and Larry Playfair, I had one thing I said to myself: keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut, and you might learn something, and I did. And that's exactly what he did. He had a lineup card. It was all up here. It was all in his head. He followed hockey. He knew hockey. He knew the game.
A Hall of Famer as respected as any across the sport of hockey and really beyond in sports. Paul will be with us next hour as we continue to reflect on the life and legacy of Rick Jeanneret, passed away at the age of 81. For now, Kate, let's send it back to you in the studio.
Absolutely one of a kind, and more to come tonight. Adam, thank you. The Sabres held a virtual call with reporters this afternoon to discuss what Jeanneret's career means to the team. We heard from general manager Kevin Adams, head coach Don Granato, and Rob Ray, all of them speaking about what a great person he was beyond just the great work in the booth.
RJ didn't worry about what he looked like or, anything like that. He just, this is me, and people accepted it, and he was more than content to be like that. And he didn't want to he never tried to be anything other than what he was. And I just think he had such a passion for the game, and then a bigger passion for this organization, because it didn't matter how tough things were and how bad things were. When you sat and had a conversation with him, he'd always try to come out with a positive. But if this just happened or this just happened, it'd be so much better and things would get turned. So he was always that optimist, that he was always thinking, that things were going to get there, and for a long time. I'm glad he had a chance to come back when things were good, to have, that excitement back in the building, excitement doing the games again.
And all day long, fans have been gathering at Alumni Plaza, where, as Adam showed us, a memorial is set up to honor RJ, and the sound system outside playing some of his most famous calls. We also went to the Northtown Center to catch up with hockey players of all ages who appreciated Jeanneret's genuine love of the game.
It's like Buffalo is such a small town. It's like we're a big family, and so a big member of our family is no longer with us. So that'll be missed, but the memories and sharing them, will be here forever.
And coming up first at 5, we will share more memories with you as our coverage of Rick Jeanneret's passing continues.